is so different. I don't know what's going on right now. Okay, guys, I'm hopping on. This is totally different for us because I usually go live in the mornings. And in case you missed it, I've started to go into work earlier. Stop. So I am not going live in the morning at the same time for Sock It To 'Em. So right now, we're just going to flow with it. We're going to let it come. I don't have a specific time that I'm going to go live except for on Mondays, and I didn't yesterday just because it was Memorial Day, except for Mondays at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time for Monday Soul Deliciousness, where I focus on like a really specific topic and talk about that for a little bit longer. Otherwise, haven't decided what to call this. We might call it lessons of the day, lessons learned from the day. I don't know, really know. So I will tell you about a couple of things that happened today. First of all, I'm going to highlight something, a product that some of you might actually be interested in getting. So my 5-year-old is now home because school is out. So he's definitely not quite at that age where I feel like he's completely able to be responsible for himself, but he has older brothers that are here. But I needed him to have a way to call, in case something happens. Since we don't have a landline, everybody has cell phones. And so I wanted him to have like a super simple phone. I was just going to try to add like the cheapest phone that I could to his plan. Of course, he's like, I need an iPhone 12. I'm like, no, you don't actually need that. So we found this really cool thing, and so I'm going to show it to you. So this is called a Gizmo watch. It is super cute. I got it with my Verizon plan, and so the way that it works is basically it is a little watch, and it's got super simple functions on it. So your kid can use it if they're only 5 like Jason. It basically can call up to 10 people, but you put the contacts in there. And then your kiddo can scroll through the pictures of people. So you put them in with their profile, but it also you download an app. It'll show you like, I can see where Tayson is right now. It'll tell me if he moves somewhere. So as long as he has that little watch on, I can see where he is. It also will tell you like what the battery charge is on the Gizmo. You can do a to-do list. I really don't know what that is yet. Maybe I can give him chores. Oh, yeah. So create tasks and rewards for completing them. So I'm going to put like, take the puppy out to potty. Anyway, here's the crazy part of it. I can see all of his calls. So he's made 34 outgoing calls today. Let me just tell you what, he has a very patient dad and a very patient grandmother. So anyway, we're hoping like the whole newness of it will wear off and he won't be calling people quite so often, because even though we're like, hey, buddy, you only need to call somebody if you need something, he has to call and tell you basically everything that he's doing. Okay, so lesson learned of the day. I just decided to take Tayson to the park. So before we went to the park, we went to get a snow cone. And, I guess if this woman that was there ever watches this or someone tells her, then I guess she can be my hater, because I was biting my tongue to the point where I was just like, I want to say something so bad, but I didn't. And the reason that I didn't is because I really picked up the energy vibe from her that it wasn't going to matter if I said that. She was just going to get angry and it wasn't going to soak in. So instead, I just thought to myself, man, I hope something comes along where she has some good self-reflection and realizes what she's doing to her kids. So obviously being at the snow shack, it's really stressful. This woman had 4 kids, 4, maybe 5 kids. They were all basically, I would say the oldest one might have been 6, maybe. And so she was right before us. So she ordered all of her snow cones, and then they came over and sat at the little picnic table that Tayson and I were at. So Tayson and I were waiting for our snow cones, and they were eating them. Now you can buy your snow cone in this little kid dish, and it's plastic. And the bottom of it is really super tiny. So it's kind of a failure because it has like a little petals is what they look like on the top of it. So the snow cone doesn't spill out, but they've made the base of it like yay big, and it needs to be as big as the top, because what happens is you have all that weight of the snow cone on the top around the edges, right? And it tips it over because the bottom of it isn't wide enough to support it. And so the one of the kids, it was her older son, I'm guessing he was 6, maybe 7. He had been given one of these. And immediately after she handed it to him, he sat it on the table, and what do you think happened, right? It tipped over and it spilled everywhere. Obviously, he didn't do it on purpose, because what kid in their right mind wants to spill their snow cone? But this woman just laid into him. And I'm not talking like she was yelling at him. She wasn't yelling at him at all, but she was belittling him like nobody's business. And she was like, I don't know why you can't do anything right. And like my son is sitting here with me, and I'm like, this is so awkward right now. And the little boy is like, I didn't mean to do it. And she's like, yes, you did. You always do things like this. And I was like, okay. And these kind of comments just continued. Like, she just didn't stop. Like, after a few minutes, she's like, I don't know why you can't not spill your snow cone when the 1-year-old cannot spill their snow cone. What is wrong with you? I was blown away that an adult was talking to her own. First of all, I was blown away that an adult was talking to a child like this, but I was blown away that she was talking to her own child like this. And it was so degrading. I just felt so bad for this little boy, because if she's willing to talk to him like that with me sitting at the picnic table, who knows what she's saying to him or her other kids when she's at home. And so I just thought, man, this is why kids grow up to be messed up adults, is because your own mother is telling you what a failure you are, what a worthless kid you are, because you spilt your snow cone on. How many times do I have to tell you? And then she was belittling him to the other kids. So-and-so doesn't get any snow cone. Don't share with him because he spilt his snow cone. I was blown away. So then at one point, one of the other kids spilt their snow cone. And I'm just telling you, like, my kid spilt his snow cone. I mean, snow cones are spillable, right? That's just what they do. They fill the tops of them so full. How are you not going to spill it? And so after she left, Tayson said to me, Mama, I don't ever want a mommy as mean as her. And I was like, I know, huh? Like, that's sad that my 5-year-old was like, this lady is so mean. And I just, like, it was heartbreaking. Sometimes I know that I do it when I get like really tired or I get really stressed out. I know that I sometimes take things out on my kids. I take things out on Dave. I say things that I shouldn't. I have a really, like really strict tone of voice. And so it was a good moment for me to do some self-reflection and be like, okay, do I treat my own son like this? Do I say things like that to him? Because I don't want him to grow up to think that he is a loser, because I'm his mother. And so he believes what I tell him. If I tell him that he's dumb, he's going to believe it. And he could be the smartest person in the world. So there's my first thing, is like, just, sometimes have a little bit of self-reflection, like sit back. Not my first person that I've ever heard talking poorly to their kids. Like, sometimes I hear people do this when I'm on the phone with them. And I'm just like, man, this is just sad. So just do some self-reflection and realize the way that you're speaking to your child. Because if you took yourself outside of the situation and you were listening to what you were saying, number one, would you be like, whoa, don't talk to my kid like that? 2, do you think it would be appropriate for another person or another child to be talking to your kid like that? Because if you don't think that and you would stand up for them, then you definitely shouldn't be talking to them like that. But just remember that kids believe what we say. Second thing that was really cool. And I was like, man, this is just a good grounding time. So it's beautiful weather right now. I went to the park with Tayson. I laid on the lawn and I let my body just melt into the earth. And there's all these cool little cottonwood seed floaty things flying everywhere. And so they drive Dave crazy, and they do stick on everything, and they're very messy. But I love them. I feel like it's like magic floating all over. It's like a giant dandelion like blew up. And so they're everywhere. And so they were just floating all over. And I thought to myself, man, What if we could envision energy like this? Because that's how energy is. It's floating everywhere like that. And if we realize that it's so close to us and we can just grab a hold of it and just embrace it like these beautiful little fluffies, like how beautiful would it be if you were just going through your day and you were like, man, I'm so stressed and I'm freaking out. And you just could be like, oh, energy. And you could just grab a hold of it and pull it into you and bring it into your body. And you can. It's just that when you're freaking out and you're really stressed, or you're thinking about, wow, there's little floaty energies everywhere that I can just breathe in and relax and take it in. No, we don't, because we're just going 100 miles an hour and it's tough. And I'm pretty sure my dog's getting into something. What are you doing? Yep. I think he's in the wrapping paper again. He keeps pulling it out. I have some shoved underneath the couch. And because it's too long to fit in my drawer. And it's Jack Nightmare Before Christmas wrapping paper. I'm pretty sure the dog is eating it. Anyway, I did wear my shirt out in public. That was appropriate. Don't go outside. There are people out there. I did have a lady at the Snow Cone Shack, not the same lady, but another one that was like, your shirt makes me happy. And I'm like, yes, my shirt makes me happy too. Thank you. There you go. Okay, guys, so I'll just do this. I'm just going to randomly pop on and tell you about cool things that happen or little lessons that I've learned today. I don't want to stick to a time schedule during the summer. It's not going to happen because sometimes we're outside, sometimes we're inside, sometimes I don't know what we're doing, honestly, but we're just going to roll with it. Okay, I hope you had a beautiful day. I will go live at the same time on Mondays at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. That'll be Monday's Soul Deliciousness, but otherwise, it's just going to be sporadic. All right. Love yourself a little more. Don't forget to sparkle.